When I was a kid, it was children should be seen and not heard. I'll give you something to cry about. And children don't have a say. And that's very much like my parents and my grandparents think like that still. And I don't want to be that parent.
I am an African, but we have a different way of upbringing, which is very hard.
I was so used to being hit, it didn't make a difference anymore. That I just kind of got in trouble because it didn't really matter what I did, whether I was good, bad, somewhere in the middle. I was always going to get a smack. When I had my child, I had the choice to make whether I was going to be, like, you could say my role models, or I was going to be a new person.
I realised that if we were going to make a difference, then it was the parents that we needed to be working with. And it was the Family Links programme that helped that happen.
We had to look at some of the expectations we might be putting on our own children and how that might be making them feel.
We get in there really early with families, and we support families to try and get the best possible outcomes for their children right from the very beginning.
Appreciate another's point of view.
In a package of 10 weeks, you definitely are looking at behaviour strategies and what families can put in place in that way. But the emotional health aspect of it is really important. The parents themselves have had the experiences of being in situations where their parenting has been poor. So their learnt behaviour is something that goes back generations. And it's about breaking that cycle, and the nurturing programme does that perfectly.
Is there anything, obviously we've had a bit of a discussion around where we think, and we've shared ideas on that.
I told the baby's mother I was going to do it, and then she didn't think I was going to last 2 weeks. Then it stopped being so much about proving people wrong and actually trying to make things better for my child.
So when we're looking at this, it varies from family to family, child to child. So
we are working with hard to engage families. The fact that they commit to a 10-week programme is incredible, when sometimes it's very difficult to get them to commit to something the following day or to even know what's happening in their lives.
Needs peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet.
When you sit with them and you provide a nurturing environment and you provide that wonderful welcome, and they know immediately that they're not going to be judged, and it's a very inclusive and very safe environment to be able to share.
We interact with each other, you meet each other, and then you realize that you are not alone in this world going through what you're going through. You even meet cases that are worse than your case.
Realises the impact of behaviours on others.
As a parent, you always tend to judge yourself and put yourself down. And come into the class, you do realise that we're all the same.
Depends on a child.
Mine
won't do until later.
Very early on, you see the guards going down, and you hear more about what has happened historically than what you see on the surface. And once they start doing that, you can not only help them with the programme, you can signpost them to other areas of expertise help. When you train your staff to deliver the programme, they leave that 4-day training and they're taking those strategies on for themselves. And I think the reason that we get such positive feedback from facilitators is that they truly believe in the programme because they've actually used it themselves.
I changed my communication methods. I changed my attitude.
We compromise a lot more. We're just a little bit more understanding with each other. And Florence and her needs.
I was the one who was not good enough for them because they were actually copying me. I actually learned to nurture myself, to build myself in order to correct what I've damaged.
I had to learn how to think and behave and act in a completely different way.
I tried to understand their feeling. No matter how the action is so aggressive, I will try to empathize with their feeling.
It really makes you think about how much praise you give your children and what kind of adults you want them to be.
We're working together instead of working apart, and we're actually getting further with the child now, especially with how much he's learning.
The main impact on families is the confidence in themselves to be parents and provide the best possible start in life that they can for their children. There are benefits that aren't so obvious that we often hear about much later on, and we do a 3 and a 6 month follow-up to the programme. Parents have taken a newfound confidence to return to some form of learning, or to return to even voluntary types of work, or to just return to being more supportive of their children's education, because they almost suddenly have this new passion to want to learn themselves.
I just keep stepping up and stepping up and stepping up ever since. I've done, twice I've been on the parent and nurturing course. I've done the psychology course. This course kind of helped out more in a short time than it did going to counselling for 19 years.
By working with families early on in a child's life with programmes like the nurturing programme, you can definitely see savings later on. It can reduce the cost of children being expelled from school, youth offending, antisocial behaviour, imprisonment even. Lots of the families that come to us are at risk of their children being taken into care. Care is expensive if you're looking at cost long term, but more importantly, the best environment for a child to grow up in is with their parents and in that family home. So by coming along to the programme and engaging in services that Flying Start offers, we can help them to make that happen.
I still got a long way to go, to be honest, before I can say I'm truly proud of myself. I will get there eventually, but for the time being, I just do what I do and concentrate on my child.